So what's up, internet? This is going to be a fun little experiment today about phase music. I had a question that occurred to me, and I now know the answer, so I'm going to tell you the answer. Let's suppose I decide to record a little bit of my voice into Edison, and what I'm going to record is I'm just going to record some phrase. Let's just say something like, no, I've got to make this, it's going to start echoing for a second. Hello. Yeah. Right. So I'm just going to say a sort of simple phrase, like something like, come out to show them. And that's enough. Come out to show them is classic of the genre. Right. So I'm just going to say a sort of simple phrase, like something like, come out to show them. Right. So let's get rid of all that. We don't want any of that. And we don't want all this. So we've just got this. Come out to show them. Right? So here's what I'm going to do. Is I've got that in Edison. I'm just going to drag it onto... that's a bit zoomed out. Let's zoom in a bit here. Let's just drag this audio. Make sure I've selected it. I'm not going to mess around with the length of it yet. So, come out to show them. And all I'm going to do now is just click this, highlight it to select it, and now I'm going to just hit the ctrl-B.
Come out to show them.
Like that. And you'll notice that that has made a copy directly after the first one. So let's pull that out. I'm just going to hit ctrl-B many times. There you go. So a whole long list of those repetitions have come out to show them. All right, and I'm now going to grab this, and I'm now just going to highlight almost all of it, just a little bit shorter. I'm going to hit the thing, and I'm going to trim it, just to make a little shorter version. And then I'm going to drag the same thing up here. Make sure it starts in the same place. But remember, it's just a touch shorter than the other one. So I now highlight this. Same thing, just hit ctrl-B a number of times. Oopa. Don't need quite that many times. Well, let's see. Alright, so we've got the same loop, slightly out of phase with itself, one slightly longer than the other. So how does that sound? Come out to show them. 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 So that's kind of interesting. Let's just do it again. Let's just highlight almost everything again. Just slightly trim it. And let's just pull that into the next track. Remember, the important thing is to highlight and select that, Control-B. We definitely don't want it aligned with the grid, right?
Come out to show them.
Come out to show them. Come out to show them. Come out to show them. Come out to show them. Come out to show them. Come out to show them. Come out to show them. Come out to show them. Come out to show them. Come out to show them. Come out to show them. And what I might do here is just put the limiter on it and come out to show them. Come out to show them. Now, people used to do this with tape loops. Obviously, this is a cover version of like one of the original Steve Reich phase music pieces from the 60s. And what's kind of convenient here is we can just jump forward and hear what's it like when these things are really out of phase with each other. Come out to come out to come out come out come out to come out come out come out to come out come out come out to come out to come out come out to come out to come out come out come out to come out come out come out to show come out. I think in the original Steve Reich does a fourth one, doesn't he? Let's just put a fourth one in. I know he doesn't start with 4. He starts with 2 and then moves to 4, but just so that we get our timing correct, I'm going to do 4 from the beginning. To come out, to come out, come out, to come out, to come out, come out, to come out, to come out, come out, come out, come out, to come out, come out, come out, come out, to come out, to come out, come out, come out, to come out. I want to make sure all of these are actually going through my limiter, just to kind of even up the volume when they're all in phase with each other. Come out to show, come out to show, come out to show, come out to show, come out to come out to show, come out to come out to show, come out to come out to show, come out 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 come out to show. So yeah, that is the one of the 2 original classics of phase music. Say Steve Reich, I think, did this back in about 1968, and so you may or may not want to make music that sounds exactly like that. But then, say Brian Eno came along a couple of years later and started playing around with tape loops with something a little bit more ambient. So let's get rid of that for a second, and I'm going to put a convolver and a delay on this. I'm going to start recording. I'm going to start recording, and I've got just a simple Rhodes kind of keyboard going through this. So which already has a bit of... Where's that Edison gone? Yeah, okay. I'm going to take some of the end of that off anyway. Right, so here's my loop. Let's just put it in there. Make sure it starts at the beginning. Make sure it's highlighted and I've selected it. Ctrl-B to make a lot of copies. And now let's grab most of it, trim it, put that in the same place, starting in the same place, select it, Ctrl-B. Perhaps not quite that many, but we'll see. Do it once more. No. Highlight that, trim it. I mean, I'm not being very precise. These things just have to be slightly different lengths, and we'll see what kind of effect we get. Ctrl-B, and let's just have a fourth one. I keep doing that by mistake. Trim that, drag that. We want it at the beginning. Select it, Ctrl-B it. So we have 4 versions of that loop, all slightly out of phase with each other. And I'm going to again put them through the echo, reverb, and the limiter is the important thing here. So that what we don't want is huge variations in the volume. What I might also do And again, if we want to see what it's like a bit further along, when they're really out of phase. Now, a more fashionable thing to do these days, of course, is to have some kind of destructive loop. In other words, not simply repeating, but actually allowing some natural process of degradation affect it. So, William Basinski got very famous for this, I believe, and you have Heinbach doing his things with kind of tape loops going across the blades of knives that was just scraping a little bit of the surface off. But can we find a kind of rather quick and dirty way of doing something similar? Now, what I'm thinking is, can we use something like maybe squeeze? I'm thinking squeeze, but I'm thinking how to do this properly. Maybe just as simple as creating an automation clip for that, for the amount, and putting that up over time. So at the beginning, by itself, that is not doing anything. I'm looking for bit crushing. That's what I want. I'm sure there was a bit crusher on this. Maybe it's this one. Let's try linking that to the controller. That certainly creates a little bit of hiss for us. Is that really the best we can do? Okay, maybe I'm going to try that impact as well. We'll create an automation clip for that. Oh yeah, maybe much less of that though. Now, as that gets going, that's certainly degrading it, but it's not degrading it in quite such an interesting way, is it? What else do we have? We have cymatic's origin. If you see, I'm looking at the parameters here, so I want to find that. Resample frequency. I'm going to create an automation clip for that. And that is going to go down. That's having a bit of an effect, isn't it? Let's create an automation for this as well. It's called reel to reel. It's called noise level. Let's make the noise level. That's the one I want. So there you go, a quick trawl through the history of looping and phasing music for the last few decades, and yeah, it's obviously not the same as those. I mean, there was a lot more meaning to the purpose of these looping things, both to the sort of Steve Reich phase music, the Brian Eno kind of experimenting with tape loops as a kind of almost algorithmic or generative music, and then the Disintegration obviously comes with a lot of discourse around time, around disintegration. About, I mean, I think the William Basinski stuff was kind of old tapes that had disintegrated over sort of 20 or 30 years, and he was releasing that around the time of 9/11, partly as a sort of capture a mood of national sadness, let's say. So yeah, this is just tricks, and the end result is neither as perhaps pretty nor as profound as the originals. But it's kind of interesting that you can make these things happen. You can make something like this in this very digital medium and very relatively straightforward. Symatic's origin, this is a free as in beer, not as in speech, plugin from Cymatics, obviously. It's a bit like the Isotope vinyl simulator, or whatever it's called. I haven't really spent much time with it, but it seems quite good for creating these atmospheres, and so yeah, it's interesting to put these, increase this stuff over time. You tend to just sort of put it on and get a feel, but this sort of music is all about slow evolution over time, so it's kind of interesting to combine it. Anyway, thank you for watching, and yeah, this was really a off the cuff video. I will be back very soon with the next part of my proto-plug synthesizer, and I'm really just this is displacement activity from recording that video. But thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Let's just play it out with it. Here's how it starts. Now we're 5-6 minutes in, 11 minutes in.